Hello everyone, this is Dvang. Welcome to World of Warships replay. This is a game I had recently in my Tier 7 Hatsuharu Imperial Japanese Navy Destroyer. It is not quite stock. I do not have the torpedo upgrades. All I've got is the first hull upgrade. It has been sort of a difficult ship for me. The Mutsuki was pretty difficult too, as well. And strangely, the Hatsuharu really is pretty much inferior to the Mutsuki in just about every way. Its stock, luckily at least its stock torpedoes are the same as the upgraded torpedoes on the Mutsuki, so 10 kilometer range, I think a 59 speed, but it has a much wider turn radius, and it's slightly slower, so it maneuvers much more sluggish. So here I'm heading. Was thinking I'm gonna head into this gap here to the right. Lots of torpedoes generally go there. Lots of cruisers go there. And I see, well, we've got a whole bunch of people going that way. It looks like everybody in the west is heading east. So I'm going to turn. I'm actually going to hit this gap here on the left. There are a couple rocks I can hide behind after I launch some torpedoes, and then I'll head all the way to the west side because it doesn't look like anybody's going that way. And I don't like, as a team player, I don't like to leave flank undefended. So there's an Omaha who is going to eventually go into range. Ooh, and there's a Mutsuki at 9, so he's in range. Figure maybe I can, if I throw a couple spreads out, I might be able to get lucky. Get a lucky hit if he's not paying attention. Unlikely, but it might at least make him turn away or what have you, and that Omaha might run into them. So I turn around. All right, and then I notice the Grimashi says, "Hey, he's going to head to the west." There. I'm like, okay, well that's good. Doesn't look like those torpedoes hit anything. Looks like the Omaha's going to go behind that island over there. So even if he might have, but he's still pretty far away, and he's kind of turning away. Mutsuki lays some out. It's probably not going to hit anything, even if he's got 10 kilometer range torpedoes. With the Mutsuki's pretty bad stock, because its stock torpedoes are only at a 6 kilometer range. Yeah, and then the Mutsuki says he's going to go west. I go ahead and alright, I'm gonna let them know I'm heading that way as well. We'll have 3 of us. We'll have that Wyoming battleship with us. We should be doing pretty well on that side. We've got, I see, a Wyoming and an Omaha headed that way. That's gonna be great. One of the challenges the Hatsuharu has, I said, it's pretty much inferior to the Mutsuki in every way. At least stock. But mostly in general. It does get upgraded torpedoes, which would be nice, simply because they are slightly faster and they do a little bit more damage. I think they're like 62 speed instead of 59. And I don't remember, they do a couple hundred more damage, which is nice. So the torpedoes eventually get slightly better. I turn on my booster here to help the Grimashi. He was getting shot at, which I'm assuming, since he has pretty good guns, he was shooting them, and that meant that he wasn't. He got detected. Speaking of detection, the really big downside of the Hatsuharu is that it's significantly slower to turn, or I should say, it has a wider turn radius, much wider turn radius than the Mutsuki, which has a wider turn radius than the Minakaze. It's also slightly slower. As far as top speed. So, and it has a 6.7 detection radius. With the camouflage, which is -3%, it's around 6.5. So I'm well within detection range. And that's a huge detection range, especially when you've only got, 10 kilometer torpedoes. So I know I'm going to get spotted. I do get spotted, so I turn on my smoke.
Generator started.
Normally in a destroyer, when you smoke, you probably should slow down so that your smoke keeps up with you. In this instance, I'm actually leaving a trail of smoke directly behind me and between us, which meant the previous smoke that I've laid is still blocking me. I kind of wiggle a little bit, so I don't have to slow down. It also has the advantage of taking me directly away from them. And then I do get, with those spreads, I do get 2 good hits on that Wyoming. Which is, hey, exactly what I wanted. Which is about average for me. I'm not the greatest at aiming torpedoes. Pretty good with guns. Judging speed and direction with guns. Not so hot with torpedoes. It could be simply the zoom, and I do get a lucky hit on that other Wyoming. Unfortunately, don't cause any flooding. Torpedoes are reloaded.
Engine boost.
I see that Wyoming. So I fire off 2 rounds. Only then do I know two launches of torpedoes, and I notice he was almost dead. In fact, he does die, which means those torpedoes are pretty much waste. Since everybody else, the Omaha, the Wyoming, and the Atlanta are moving away. They're outside of 10 and they're moving away. So those were wasted torpedoes. So I start coming in to chase. Really want to try to get some help with that Wyoming there. Looks like we've got a couple more cruisers over this way. We've lost both the other destroyers, the Guramashi and the Mutsuki, both playing a little too aggressively. I find you have to be very careful. American destroyers, sometimes you can get away with playing aggressively, although generally not. Not in live, but you might be able to take somebody out with you, kind of thing. A suicide run. Although they are fairly maneuverable, they do have pretty decent guns, so you can kind of shoot as you maneuver. You cannot do that with the Japanese, nor the Russian destroyer, the Guramashi. It has good guns, but they rotate real slowly. So you kind of want to stand off at range. You can take some pot shots, mostly at probably. Well, you could probably even still hit some battleships, but you certainly don't want to be taking fire from anybody in any destroyer. You just don't have the hit points for it. You do need to be at a pretty good range to generally reasonably dodge somebody. Battleships, you can potentially, Guramashi could potentially gun, or American battleship or destroyer might potentially be able to finish off a wounded battleship, simply because battleships really can have a difficult time hitting. So now I don't want to get caught between the Atlanta and the Omaha. The Omaha is awfully close. Here's another example of just how horrible. I slow down because I don't want to get too close. How horrible the turning is. Here, unfortunately, with my best attempt, I just turn too late. Get within that 6.5. So I launch off two spreads of torpedoes, try to get the heck out of Dodge. Luckily, the Omaha is busy with the battleship. So I launched one spread of torpedoes in front, because I'm notoriously bad about firing behind them. And then I actually fire a spread behind him, in case he tries to turn around. And he does start turning, so I'm going to turn back in, try to follow him up while I'm waiting for my torpedoes to reload. And the Omaha's getting shot by...
Torpedoes, dead ahead!
There, looks like the Omaha launched off a wide spread of torpedoes. They've only got 2 on each side, and they're pretty short range, so they didn't even reach me. So I'm chasing down the Omaha and the Wyoming. Here, I see the Atlanta's going away, so I actually realize at this point, nope, and there was another lucky torpedo hit. He was busy looking at the battleship and dodging the battleship, ran right into my torpedo. Here I see that the east side has fallen. Looks like there's just one Miyogi left. Looks like the guys in the middle are going for the enemy cap.
Activated.
So I turned on my boost, try to get some extra speed out of this thing. So instead of top speed of what, 36, 37. My top speed's now 40. Needs to be a little bit, try to get me there a little bit faster, try to help at our cap. Now I can't quite see, you know, what he's shooting. He's fighting over there. And it looks like, let's see there, ooh, and I just see that Miyogi just took a big ol' hit, and he's losing health. So either he's on fire or he's flooded, but he's in trouble. Look to make sure. Looks like so our battleship behind us got destroyed, but there is a Cleveland back there. Clevelands are going to be pretty powerful, so I'm not too concerned. Besides, that top northwest corner is pretty much out of the battle for the majority of the game here, especially with the Cleveland chasing them. Now here I try to tell the Miyogi that I'm coming to help him. Enemies are in the base. I can see the base capture, so trying to come. Oh, and I see it's a Cleveland, which is not good. He does get a big old hit on that Cleveland, but unfortunately, with the rate of fire on the Cleveland, yep, first salvo knocks him down pretty good to 93. Second salvo finishes him off. So now, knowing myself, I'm not very good at hitting with aiming the torpedoes. I know that. So I need to try to reset the cap. I ask for help. I know, especially against if it was just a battleship, I wouldn't be as concerned. But you know, the Cleveland has such a great rate of fire, such good guns. I fire off 2 spreads of wide torpedoes, just hoping for a lucky hit. I start to turn back in. I want to get into the cap circle because if I get into the cap circle, I can slow down their capping. And then suddenly the Wyoming and the Colorado come into view, and I see, wait, they're actually cutting in kind of close. If I go this way, I'm still going to get within range, a visual range of them. So I decided I need to try to get around to the back edge of the cap circle, and if the Cleveland kind of continues that way, he won't be able to see me. So I try to come this way. Looks like we do have a cruiser coming to help me, which would be good. Still waiting for the reload. 16 seconds. You can hear the click, click, click. Unfortunately, now the Cleveland's turning in, and we're running out of time. Now I know the Cleveland here, so he's going to spot me. There, he detects me. So my torpedoes are almost ready. There, I fire off a spread far in front. I fire off another wide spread. I think about it, then I turn on smoke, give myself a few seconds left, fire off the second spread, and then I know, well, we need to reset the Cleveland. He was the first one in there, so I switch my guns, go ahead and fire off, hoping to get a hit, which I do, which resets the Cleveland. And looks like we're capping their base, so I just need to hold them off. I'm still detected, though. Looks like our Atlanta's done a little bit of damage to the Cleveland. Cleveland's turning, but he doesn't turn quite enough. My torpedo from that spread manages to clip him and finish him off. So good. So now it's the Atlanta and myself against 2 battleships. Now they are still capping, so we need to reset them. Still need to wait for my torpedoes to finish loading. There goes the click click of their cap. But I'm feeling a little bit more confident now that now that the cruiser is gone. So there I fire, waiting for that second one to pretty much reload. I'll put a nice wide spread of torpedoes. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my guns again, even though it makes me detected, to reset the Wyoming. I mean, I'm within visual range, detection range anyway. And I need to try to get into that cap circle to slow them down. We're capping pretty well. I know the Colorado needs to be reset next, so I target him, fire off my guns, boom, reset him. So now they're completely reset. Looks like we're going to win. Our base capture is pretty high, but still to be safe. Boom, I get 2 hits on that Wyoming from torpedoes. That torpedo spread was just right on for both of them. There's 1 hit on the Colorado. Unfortunately, it didn't flood the Colorado. It did flood the Wyoming. And he's getting shot at by the Atlanta. And luckily, they weren't shooting at me. But the Wyoming's guns are aiming for me, and boom, there comes some main guns. So I need to try to dodge and avoid him. I wanted to go left, but I have an island. So if you can see here, just a minute. I want to get some torpedoes off. He doesn't look like he's moving very much. Fire some torpedoes, then there's an island there, so I decided I'm going to turn right to try to dodge. I would prefer to have gone left, but I also need to get into the cap circle, slow down their capping, take some big hits from the Wyoming, and the Colorado has started shooting at me. I'm going to turn in, make a profile, low profile, try to make a low profile for both Colorado and the Wyoming.
Engine boost activated.
Turn on my engine boost, get a little bit of extra power. You can see there I just completely missed with those tight spreads of torpedoes, which is why I tend to do one tight, either two wide or one tight, or one wide, simply because I just so often misjudge. He managed to turn out of that or speed up past it. Still have 17 seconds left for my reload on my torpedoes. I need to just keep dodging, let the Atlanta keep trying to plink away at them. So, though unfortunately it looks like the Atlanta's shots are falling short. I'll look around, see exactly where I am. Make sure you can again. So here's you'll be able to see right here the horrible turn radius that this thing has. Ugh, trying to turn. Launch off. I want to try to stay in the cap circle. Again, keeping them from getting any more points. I fired my 2 spreads of torpedoes. Atlanta's chipping away at his health. Looks like the first spread is perfect, right on. Boom. Only took 1 torpedo hit to finish him off. Now it's just us, the Atlanta and myself against the Colorado, which is looking good. Colorado's guns, as far as I know, were on the right. The main guns were pointed to the right. So I'm going to try to sneak in there. Yep, he took some shots at me. Some of those were secondaries, but they missed. Now he's kind of turning to the left. He's turning away from me, which means I only have to worry about his secondaries. Now his secondaries can finish me off. I mean, they can do some decent damage, but it's easier to dodge them because they're generally pretty inaccurate. Torpedoes are ready, so I turn. Do take a big hit from secondaries, but I get off.
Smoke generator
1, 2 spreads of torpedoes. Turn around, so I fired smoke to help keep him off of me.
Smoke screen set.
Looks like, oh, I got a good hit from that first wide spread and managed to clip him. Second spread is dead on. Gonna get at least 2. Yep, 2 more. 2 more killed him. And now, so we successfully defended cap. There's a minute and 40 seconds left. Need to try to run and help the New Mexico up there. I say thanks to the Atlanta. I could not have done it without him being there, adding in his damage against the Cleveland and the battleships, as well as also taking some distracting them, taking some of their fire for a while. You know, he thanks me as well, congratulates me. Now we need to go help. They've just got a Wyoming left. But that Wyoming is hitting our New Mexico and resetting the cap. So we've got a minute and a half left. So we need to try to get back and help. I don't know if we have enough time. There's under a minute left. I don't know if we have enough time to help. And unfortunately, our carrier, our Independence, only had, looks like he was fighter heavy or something. He's certainly out of torpedo bombers. Looks like he's out of everything except a low strength there, and looks like our Wyoming killed it, or New Mexico killed the Wyoming, and ended the game with about 30 seconds left. That was close. Here we get 277,000 credits, 3,500 experience. We get a high caliber medal and a Confederate medal, which I don't typically get very often in a destroyer. Being able to hit that many ships. So if I look, I did score top, although it looks like the New Mexico, the Cleveland, the Mutsuki, and the Atlanta all did pretty well. All got over 1,000 experience there. Detailed report, fired 15 or 16 shells, 10 hits for 6,000, 60 torpedoes, 12 hits for 115,000 damage. That is an exceptional game for me, especially in this ship. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Like if you like. Thanks.